It's day 5 now. So yesterday we got all the walls up and we got the steel in and everything. We had a good old day yesterday doing that. Today now we're going to get the structure of the roof on. How far we'll get with that, I'm not quite sure, but you can see basically, so what we do with our builds, because of the 2.5 limited, which I've explained before, it's the maximum height you can go, so every like millimetre counts. So we pitch our roof so you've got more internal height and you're still under 2.5 at the outside. So you can see the front wall there is higher than the back wall, which creates the pitch on the roof. So this is a 5x2 that we're using here. So what we're going to do is the building as viewed from above, and this is where the bifolds will be going. So we're going to run our pitch front to back of building like that. So what we'll do, let me just try and draw that. So that's the perimeter of the build there. So we already have a determined size for our overhangs, which allows us to put on a fascia and stuff like that. It's all in the build packs if you want to buy one. So what we're going to do, we're going to stick that first one on tight like that and let it hang over there like that. So that will go like that. Then we'll put our next one with a 400 spacing, so there'll be a 400 spacing there. And next one, next one, next one, next one, and so on. And then the last one there will sit again tight to the side of there, but I'll explain that as we go on. And then what we're going to do then, we'll put a series of noggins in there like that. Series of noggins in there like that. We'll put our front trimmer on, which we will let overhang. And we'll put our back trimmer on, which we'll let overhang. And then we'll put another side one in there, another side one in there, and then cut them off. And then that will be basically the roof structure. And obviously, we'll put a row of noggins, 2 rows of noggins rather, down the centre. So it's a bit complicated to look at, but you'll get a gist of it as we're building it. Like I say, we've cut the 5x2 already to the determined length we require. So what I'm going to do now is, I've cut this spacer block, which is our overhang. If Davey just wants to come here, he'll see. So each 5x2 is going to go on. I'm then going to use the spacer block like that to determine it, because obviously this steel beam is straight. So as long as I sit my spacer block on the steel there, get that nice and flush there, and work my way along, all of them will be exactly in the right position to create a nice straight front. And obviously the overhang on the back has been calculated as well in the overall length of this timber. So something to remember when you're doing these, let me see if I can draw you a picture, it might be a little bit easier. So when you're putting your roofing timbers on, you want to crown the timber. So if you look down your timber, let's say for instance, I'm going to exaggerate obviously, and that's your timber. So the crown of the timber wants to go to the top. So if that's your wall there, it wants to go like that, and then you're not going to get any pits in your roof and any water settlement. And also the fact it's like that over time, it might straighten out a little bit. But if you put it the other way, to exaggerate it, you're going to get this pit in your roof like that, and of course it's only going to get worse as it goes along. So keep your crown to the top. We're still going to hand nail. Yeah, no nail gun after yesterday's hammer failure. But that's it. So there'll be 400 centres. We use 400 centres because we can get maximum use out of our insulation, which of course is very expensive. What I'll do, I'm going to fix these. I'll send a screw up there just to hold that in place, and I'll send a screw through there to hold that in place as well. And then what I'm going to do then, I'm just going to work my way along just when they're all held in place, and when it's fully built I will then jump back on hand nailing it and get it nailed, and I'll show you the upside down joist hangers and why we put them on as well. So that's it basically. I'm going to throw all these timbers that Davey's just stacked there for me now, I'm going to throw all them up on the roof so I'm ready to go, and I'll put you on a time lapse. But so don't forget, I'm going to use my spacer block to space my timbers at the front like that, so they're all evenly hanging over, and then we'll be good to go. I'm also going to use a 400 spacer in between, so that each one is got a 400 base, so that we can get our insulation cut at 400 and drop it straight in, just like we did with the floor. Right, they're the roof timbers on, so I've spaced them 400. Started at this side, worked my way across. I'll explain where that needs to start when we do that side of the roof. So I've got my 400 bays going across like that, and of course depending on whatever size your building is, your last one is going to be less than 400, and again that needs to sit in a specific place adjacent to this wall, but I will explain that when I do the side trimmers. So what's next now? We need the front trimmer on, which basically is a length of 5x2 running straight the way across there. It'll overhang that side and it'll overhang that side, and we'll do exactly the same on the back, and then we'll put the side trimmer on. So again, not a lot of tools and doing it solo. So the issue is now is how we're going to get this timber up here. So again, off-cut of wood. These torque screws we use really are the business, because let me see now. Yeah, probably be all right with that. You can reuse them time and time again. The heads don't go on them. They're good for us anyway. So I'm going to get that up there like that. So that one there is secure. I'm going to. Oh, you bugger! I keep catching my finger. I'm going to do the same on this side as well. And that now will enable me. You'll have to bear with me, because if you watched it yesterday, you know I squashed my finger with my hammer, and it's a little bit just that little bit more difficult to work. Right, so that there now will support the timber, which we have already pre-cut. If you look down there, Davey, see if you can get that. Look down for the crown. Look down that line there, Davey. Can you see the crown in it? Yeah, so it's bowing that way. So if that was one of your rafters, you'd want it up that way, crown upwards always. It doesn't matter on this. What we're going to do, we're going to pull it up and down till it meets these anyway. So let's have a go how we're going to do that. Now, I've not done this part solo before, so in fact, so that's going to hold it up there like that. I've got enough overhang on there to do my side trimmer there, so I'm happy with that one there. And I've also got enough overhang on there as well. Right, I'm going to screw this, and the reason why I'm going to screw it is because for ease, so that I can move it. But I will go back and nail it once we're done, so that can come off now. Like I said for the past couple of days, we generally use nails rather than screws, and I've explained why, because the screws tend to snap under pressure. Right, so what you want that flush with the top and the bottom of that, and it should be like, because it's the same section of timber. But what I'm going to do in a minute, if it doesn't work out quite like that, well, hopefully I'll be able to show you how we're going to rectify it. Now, I know there was a belly in the middle. You can see it starting to appear there. I'll just show you that, see if I can explain that to you. Because the timber's crowned upwards, you can see there, look, it's high above that, but we'll get round that in a second. I'm good there. That one could do with it as well. A little bit of weight on that should be enough. Which it is. That one a little bit more so. What I'm going to do now, because I know that isn't going anywhere, I can take this off now. And there, so what I can do now, can you see that, David? Look, I can freely move that up and down now, so I can get it into exactly the right position I want. There. So obviously that crown was quite high in the middle there. I'm going to put that screw in straight. So it's low now, so what I'm going to do now is just push it up a little bit like that. Whoop, left-handed. And again, they want to go up a little bit as well. What I'm going to do, because that one is so close to that one, I'm going to push that one up and then that will be right there anyway. It's amazing how much you rely on all your fingers and the minute you haven't got one working properly, everything goes to pot. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to screw this sort of temporarily at first. I'm going to get all the structure built. I'm just going to put one screw here, one screw there, and then I'm going to go around and nail the lot up, and I'll explain. I'll be putting 3 nails in the face of them. I'll be spiking these down. No, what? I'll be spiking them down at the back, but I'll be using upside down joist hangers on these front ones to tie it into this steel, and I'll explain why we're going to do that as well. So that's the front trimmer on. You can see it's overhanging there, which is exactly what we want. I'm now going to do exactly the same on the back. I think we've left enough room at the back to get a trestle down, haven't we, Davey? Yeah? Yeah, I think we have. So I'll put my 2 blocks underneath at the back, and then I'll put my trimmer on again. And then what we'll do, we'll jump onto the side and I'll show you a bit of detail about the side as well. And then we went there and see. Right, David, that'll do me. Right, the rafters are in, but obviously there's movement on them. There's movement in the wall. So what we're aiming to do now is tie the roof into the wall to take that out, and also to create more wall up here so that the plasterboard's got affixed to there, because everything needs to be tied in together, because otherwise you're going to start to get cracks in your plasterwork. So we've predetermined our overhangs. We've got a formula, it's all in the build pack. So I've cut a series of noggins and spacers for both sides there, so I'm going to explain what's going to go on now. This first one, it sits on the back of the wall. I don't know if you can see that very well, David. It's always hard to explain this. And I'll tell you what I'm just going to do there, because I don't know where my hammer is. So what's happening with this timber here, can you look up it, Davey? So the timber, that side of the timber there is flush with that timber there, and likewise at that end, and they're both fixed. But what's happening here is that timber there, I don't know if you can see, it's bowing across there like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just try and pull it across like that. But the way we're going to do that now is, in fact, I'm going to have to get my hammer. Let me just get my hammer, David. There we go. So I want to pull that across, so I'm going to get a couple of screws. Jesus. I'm going to get a couple of screws started so that we can fix this. Right, it's not going nowhere at the back anyway. Can't physically move there. I'll get another screw at the front here. And that's what I'm going to do with this one. I'm going to, I'll send it through there, it'll be right. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to just pull this over if I can. Which it has done there enough. And then I'm going to force that timber across there like that. Drive that in. And now what's happened now is it's pushed the rafter across so it's flush in line with the wall. So I'll just pop another couple of screws in there. Like I say, once I've screwed all these, I'm then going to go back and nail them all. So that's there, that's now sat across there. I'm going to put the screw in there. So you can see now that I'm starting to tie the roof into the wall. Now what we also need is some little noggins there to carry our roof trimmer on the outside. So what I'm going to do is, let's have a look. It's normally a bit of a two-man job this, because we'll have one up on roof and one fixing down here, but it's a solo build, so off we go. Right, let me just put that in there. It's an absolute pain not having this finger working properly. Right, I've got that in there now where it's going to go. There. Davey, jump up there, see if you can actually see. Do you want me to help you? I'm probably a bit too big to squeeze through that one. Right, can you see it there, Davey? Have a look. Right, so I've got that noggin there. That noggin now is going to carry the outside trimmer as well. So what I'm going to do is just put another screw in there. You see what I've got my foot on there, David? There's literally like 2 little bits of screws in there because it was to hold the phone. And what I want to do, I'm going to fix that through into there as well. So now what we've got is we've got this timber there, which is fixing the wall to the rafter. We've got that noggin there, which is fixed to that timber and to that rafter, which will then hold the outside trimmer. But you'll see it as it goes along. So I'll get back down now and put my next. If you can film it, if you think you're getting good footage, David, then you know I'm explaining. Right, so that one there is going to go in there like that. Can you see under there, David? Can you see under there, mate? So it's now flush with that wall, which is what I want. I'm just going to fix that. It's always been quite hard to explain this because visually, if you're here on site, you can see it, but it's hard to get the right camera angle so that you can see it properly. Right, so that spacer there is now fixed in. I'll now fix the rafter to that. So you can see now, look, we're starting to tie that in nicely to that wall. It also supports the rafter. So what will happen now? Can you see it there still, David? That one now is going to fix to that. But what I'll do is I'll just jump up there because I can't hold it with that finger. 1 minute, let me see if I can squeeze through here. Lost the mic. Yeah? Can you see? Are you going to see, David? Can you see? Can you squeeze through it?
Yeah, you might need to edit a little bit out.
I will, mate. Are we good?
It gone on? Right, yeah, it's off.
Is it going?
It did some sort of lock, yeah, it's still filming.
Right, so there's my little noggin. I'm going to get that flush with the top there. I'm pushing tight back to that packer. Get that screwed in there. So that's screwed to that. I'll keep reiterating because you might forget. I am going to go back and nail all this. But obviously, try to do it and film it at the same time. It's quite tricky. So that's in the, that there now is going to carry the trimmer. So I'm going to work my way along, spacer, noggin, all the way to the end. I'll jump back and nail it then. And then I'll show you what we're going to do with this side trimmer because it's going to be slightly different to what we normally do. What's the sunlight, David?
It's all right.
Yeah, it'll be slightly slightly different to what we normally do. Right, so I've got my row noggins there, you can see them all striding down there. That's going to hold the trimmer on the side there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm doing this a little bit different. What we normally do is we'd have another one at this length and we'd cut it in there, we'd fix it and then we'd cut off the excess there. But we're actually going to do this a little bit different because he's got a cement fibre board on the side. It's a bugger to cut. So what I want to do is cut them all parallel at the same size rather. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a piece on there and cut it level. I'll explain that as we go along as well. So I'm just going to use one of these spacer block, one of these noggins there. Just mark my line up there. Square it off. And then what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut that with this really blunt saw Davy's passed me. We've got some new ones somewhere, haven't we, Davy? Are we still on saw 1 out of the 3? I did open one up first day, yeah. Right, so that's that. That's obviously the same length as that. I'm going to do exactly the same at the back there. The sun's probably going to glare on that, did it, Davey? Yeah. I'm going to do exactly the same on the back, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to get this trimmer on the side there and cut it so it's level, so then when we put our cladding on, all our cladding is cut at the same size rather than cutting on an angle, because we want to have a nice neat finish on that. Right, so what I'm trying to create, obviously my roof pitches, see if I can explain it to you. So my roof pitches like that, to exaggerate it, yeah? So if I was to clad my building, then I'm going to have to clad all these bits separately and individually and cut an angle on them, which is fine when you're doing cedar or any kind of wood, but this is going to be a cement board. So what I'm aiming for is, sorry, that's rubbish that. What I'm aiming for is, if that's my roof, it's exaggerated obviously, what I want is a level soffit, fascia rather, so that when I cut all these individually, they're all exactly the same length, which will make life a lot easier. So to do that, we've not actually done it this way before. We've done it before, but not this way. We're just trying to think of a way to do it on my own. So what I've come up with is, I've got two 8x2s. Now, I'm looking at this now and thinking maybe I've under-egged it and I should have got a 9x2. But we'll see what happens. If it's a fail, then, you know, I might have to readdress it and do it a different way. But so what I've done, I've put an offcut there of OSB on the top of it. Can you see it, look, yeah? Because obviously I can't manage this on my own. But obviously that there will hold that comfortably up there for me. It's in a good position. I'm hanging over at front, I'm hanging over at back, so that's good. What I'm going to do now is just make sure I'm right on this end here. Make sure that my timber there is flush with the top of that rafter, which it's not. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a screw in there. 1 second, keep going, Davey, yeah? I'll get a screw into there and pull it down a touch so that it is flush with the top of my rafter. Which it is now, so that's good. So now I just need to address this back end and make sure, again, we're flush at the top. It should be, or thereabouts, because, look at that, every time we do one of these, there's a bloody nettle bush in the way, somewhere along the line. What I'm going to do, I'm going to jump up there really quickly just to see if I can sort this out. Get myself a few screws as I lead them. Right, okay. Right, I can see better now what's going on. Oh, no, lost drilling, Davey. What's the sun like? Is it a pain, Davey? You what, mate? Right, okay. So what I'll do is I'll get that on there so it's flush as well. Right, we're flush there, we're good all the way along. I'm not going to take that off because it's going to help me. There's obviously a curl in that timber and these noggins are up and down a little bit, which is fine, it's not an issue. I just wanted to make sure that we're flush there at the top with that trimmer, flush there at the top with that trimmer, which we are. So I'll jump back down now. Or climb slowly. Right, so what we need to do now is create a level line on there. So I'm going to get this combination square. I'm going to put it, it's now sat on the back trimmer. So that there is the height of the back trimmer. The sun's coming over, but it's the only one I could do it on. So let's just look at this prickle bush, Davey, right in way, mate. Great, isn't it? Right, that there is the height of the back trimmer. Okay, that makes sense? Yeah. Now what we want to do is create a level line from there. So with that in mind, now I'm going to get the level, which I will be giving away on Instagram. Keep following and liking my stuff and somebody's going to get this. Where is it, David? Where have I marked that up? There. See it there. Right. So, that sun's blinding, man. Right. And again, I'm going to get that like that. So I like the work, I fail miserably, so I don't know. What I'm trying to do is create an invisible line, it would seem. You see that, David? No? Can't see a thing, can you? Brilliant. All right, will you, because it's wet, and we'll use a Sharpie. As we said yesterday, it's warts and all on this. Everything's included. Right, let's have a look. Right, we're good there now. If this don't do it, David, we'll have breakfast and reassess, yeah. It's because the timber's wet, isn't it? There we go, that's slightly better anyway. Right, if you notice there what I've naturally done, naturally rotated the level, although it's a brand new level, so it was like that. And as I got down, I naturally rotated it because that's what I'm used to doing now. Because if you level slightly out, which this will won't because it's brand new, then you'll rectify it every time you return. So looking at that, I'm not 100% sure if I've got the right size timber here. We are running away to nothing there. We might just scrape that, David. What's your guess on that, David? To nothing. Let me get another pen because even that one's not having it. But I mean, the thing is with this now, I'm only going to have to do this once because I know my roof. Let me take that mouth. I know my roof is level at the front, so if I do this once, it will be level at the back as well. That made no sense what I just said then, did it? If I get, right, my roof is level at the front, yeah? So that means if I do this side and I'm happy with this, then it means my other side is the same because we are level at the front. I mean, you can just see it, can't you? Yeah? What I'm going to do, I'm going to put this down on the floor now and I'm just going to strike that line through because obviously I've got a dead straight line there. So if I strike it through, it will then create the line I'm looking for. So the next task now is to actually get this down in one piece and find my lid for my pen. But let's keep it rolling, David. Let's see if I can get it down without hurting myself, which obviously we did yesterday, didn't we? Right, we'll try this prickle side first because that's the pain in the arse one. And see that bounce up then? It's only because obviously that's cockles have sat up a little bit in the middle, but it's not an issue. Just keep my eye on that, make sure it don't fall on my head. Again, this one. We've got loads of OSB holding that on there. That's it there, so we're good with that. Do now, I'll get that down. And then I'll show you more clearly over here, which should be doable. Right, David, if you come and stand behind me now. Again, I'm just trying to create the bottom of the soffit so it's level with as least work as possible, really. And I think we might just have hit jackpot with this 5x2. Right, with this 8x2, sorry. Right, so there you go. You can see my line. Can you see my line, David? Shoot, I just whacked my finger again. Right, it's there, yeah? You got one of them big fat pencils in your pocket, David, by any chance? Let's try. There we go. Back to the old school. If you've enjoyed these videos, keep watching because once we've got the roof on, we'll be then inside. And I am going to do the first fix electrics. But what I'm going to do is err on the side of caution, and of course these First Fix electrics are, I'm a competent person, I've been to college to do electrical work. Right, so there's, I don't need to level that anymore now because I've got a dead straight line, which of course is what we're after, so I'm just going to run that through like that. Unbelievable, David. And that has actually, unbelievably, run to nothing. Can you see it? That's crazy, isn't it? Right, okay, so this is my wastage there on that side there. Look, that is what I'm going to cut off now. I'll run that down with circular saw, cut it off. I'm going to offer it back up and have a little look at it. So that's the back there, that's the front obviously. And I cut that down, get it up there, have a look at it. And if I'm happy with that, I'm then going to transfer that onto the second one I've got down there, and they will fit both sides. And then there's just a bit more work to do on the front to drop the front. But the back will be all good because of course we're down to that size there. So I'll run that down with circular saw now and we'll see how we've gone from there. Right, we've run it down with circular saw, and what I've done, I've put these, remember everything about this is now trying to do it on your own, right? So everything, that all these little spaces and that, I know it's time consuming, but if you're on your own then you need these kind of things. So I can see where the screw hole is there, so I put that above there, so that means that's that location. Same with that one there. I can see the screw hole there, so I'll put that there, so that's that. Hopefully now, when I lift out now, I should be able to locate that and sit it on. It's not overly heavy, to be honest with you. Just watch your head, David. Are you clear? Yeah. Right, so what I need to do is get, that sun's awful, man, right in my eye, is get that on there, which I believe it is it, David? Yeah, I'm not overly confident because I can see that one is on halfway and that one is as well. So just watching it don't fall on myself there. Right, I'm happy with that. And you can see there, I don't know if you can see that line there, Davey, against that line on the camera. It's looking pretty much level, isn't it? It'll be just a case of getting up there, fixing it, and let's have a look and see what's going on. But I'll jump up, stay there, mate. Right. So already I can see the issue as to why I'm having to force both ends down. All these noggins are high. Whether that's curled or not, I don't know, but we'll have a look now and see what's going on. So I'm going to get a screw in here. I'm going to try and locate it in its original hole, and then that way, I've lost your pencil there, Davey. Just watching it doesn't pull off down there. So I'm happy with that there, that's good. What I'm going to do now is work my way along here. Again, I'll keep reiterating, I'm going to go back and nail all these. So I mean, from my angle anyway, it's certainly looking like it's somewhere what I want anyway. Just get myself across here because I've still got two to get a screw in, and once the screws are in, then I'll be happy with that. You can see there, David, we've already templated up the other one there. Look, we've already marked it up, ready to go. We assume that the plan has worked. So there we go. What's left to do now is actually finish nailing these now and trim off both ends, and that'll be the side trimmer on once I've nailed it all up, and I'm happy with that. Of course, what we've done, we've templated that one, so the other side will follow suit because we'll level at the front, level at the back. It's only the side that needed the angle, so we'll cut that, we'll get that on. And that then, apart from the noggins down the middle, which we are going to do in a minute, will be the end of the roof structure. Oh no, it won't. What am I talking about? I've got to put my joist hangers on up yet, my upside down joist hangers, and also nail the full roof. So I've still got a bit of work on this to do. So you can start to see now the roof's starting to come together. I've a little bit to cut off over there on that trimmer on the side there, with 2 rows of noggins to put in as well, and with still some more fixing down to do. Now it's important that you do fix your roof down, so what we're going to do is spike the rafters into the top plate there. So what I'm going to do, I'm holding it a bit funny because I cracked my front finger yesterday. I'm going to spike it like that at an angle. So therefore that drove through the corner of there and into the head there, and I'm going to put another one in there as well. And I'm also going to do the same on the other side. We're going to do this on every single rafter. It's all right, Davey, I know you can't see it from there. We're going to do that on every single rafter. And the reason being so is because, yeah, the roof is heavy. You'll have carried it around yourself and you thought it's never going to go nowhere, that, because I've screwed it up. But you do need to spike it down as well, because wind lift can literally rip the roof off one of these, or any flat roof as well. Once the wind gets under it, it'll start to rip it up. So that's that. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to continue to fix them, and then we're going to jump on the upside down joist hangers, and I'll explain that to you as well. Right, we've fixed all the roof down at the back. We've spiked that through. We're now tight to the side there. There's still a little bit of bounce in the wall, but when we put 2 rows of noggins in there and boiler's roof, that will be gone. So what we need to do now is fix these. There's not enough timber there to spike that in my mind. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fix these down with these joist hangers basically that we use for the base, and then the twist nails, of course, which if any time I hit my finger again, it's going to be now. But basically I'm going to fill all them holes there with twist nails. That will then strap that roof down to that steel, which is fixed to the wall, which is fixed to the base, so that ain't going nowhere. I'll work my way along and I'll do every single one of them. The one on the end there, I'm going to bend it like that. I'm going to fix it round, then I'm going to bend it round and nail it where possible, and that will tie that in there as well. So we'll put you on time lapse because it's dead boring, and we'll get that done, and then there's just a little bit of detail to do at the front after we've done the rows of noggins, and then we'll be ready to go. So after yesterday and when I waxed my finger, I can't actually physically hold the twist nails, so I'm going to let Davey drop onto these. Right, so because we've created that bigger step down now, we need to infill this bit here. So I'm ripping down a bit of timber, and I'm going to infill that, but I'll also need to put an infill there as well, which will carry our soffit. So that's what I'm going to do while Davey carries on, with these twist nails. Davey's still on with them. I've put the front trimmers in. I'll show you the trimmers on there that we've dropped it down so that's the same height as the side. What we're going to do now is put 2 rows of noggins all the way down there. So I know the room is just fractionally over 3 metres. So what I've done, I'm marking a metre in. So we'll have a metre. So what I'm going to do now is, that's where I'm going to space my noggins. I'm just going to get my chalk line And again, handy little bit of kit will come into play as well once we start doing the plasterboarding too. So I'll hold that on that line, give it a twang. Can you see the line, David? You can, yeah. So that's my line of noggins. What I'll do now, I'll go down, I'll fix my noggins. Oh, let's see if we can do that, David, quickly, and then we'll put on time lapse because I'm just a bit conscious of the time. It's Friday, and nobody wants to be working late on a Friday. So I've started my nails on there, and then get it into position where I want it. Just give it a little tap back over there to where we want that. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do without a nail gun, but it still has to be done. It provides a lot of strength to the roof, stops the timbers from twisting, and we'll tie one wall into the other wall by means of stitching it through the roof. Right, so that's that. As I said, that's board. It's swinging over, so I've got two options there. I can nail it or screw it. Let's have a go at nailing it, see what happens. Get that across to where it wants to be. So it's just bouncing back out, which obviously is not ideal. So what I'll do now, get the impactor, get some screws and see if that'll pull it across. Like I say, it's just a twist in the timber. Yeah, let's pull it on it now. So there we go, that's pulled that across. What I'll do now is I'll put a couple more nails in there because I like to proceed with the nails. I won't be overly worried if you haven't got a perfectly straight line of noggins. It's not the end of the world at all. If you follow your string line, so I'm going to go boom, boom, boom across there. I'm going to do the same here, and then once Davey's finished that, I'll show you the front, and that'll be the roof structure finished until tomorrow if we come in tomorrow, and we'll get it boarded. So there's my rows of noggins. You can see I've staggered the noggins for ease of fixing. I normally put them in a straight line if I'm using a nail gun, and what I do is I put that there and spike it through, but it's a lot easier to stagger them when you're hand nailing them. So what I forgot to tell you as well, so we started as 400s going that way, so you've got to start your noggins coming that way as well. Work your noggins across until your last bay, which of course is very unlikely to fall on 400. So what you need to do then is cut that noggin nice and perfect, like so, and then that will then tie, what will it do? It will tie that wall into that roof, it will tie the other wall into the roof as well, and then it's all tied together. So all we're doing now is waiting on getting the boards on the roof, and then that will be the roof completely finished. I'll just run outside in a minute. Well, I'll just walk outside and show you this in a minute now, and I'll also show you what Davey's been doing as well. Right, it's a bit tight there to get the hammer swinging in there, so what I'm going to do is sack that off, put a couple of screws in it. It's a lot easier option for me. Finding it difficult to actually hold the nails because of the finger, but it is where it is, isn't it? So and that's all the noggins in the roof. So because we spaced them at 400 spacing, what we can now do, we can now put our insulation in there. So we'll cut his insulation to 400 and pop it in, but that's a job for another day. You can see Davey's gone down, he's nailed all them there now. I'm just going to jump up and nail these side ones that are bent over, because obviously he can't drop the other side down. And if Davey just comes here and stands there, mate, just there, mate, thank you. So you can see that the end trimmer there is obviously wider because we've levelled it off, so that it'll aid us when we start cladding. So I'll put this infill piece on there as well to level that down as well. And I'll put a little back piece in there as well. I think what we'll probably do, we'll probably use the OSB offcuts to clad that all the way around and then cut out for the spotlights. And then when we put a soffit on, that'll be a nice tidy finish. So all I've got left to do now is tidy up them. Can you see that joist hanging up there, David? Oh, it's sun just killing it. Come here, mate, stand there. You see straight through there, look.
Yeah.
So there's that joist hanger there and one on opposite side as well. I'm going to bend that into submission and send it round and obviously cut that piece off. And that'll be the roof complete. We're going to have a little tidy up. It's Friday. We'll just run through tools, tell you what we've used. And then that'll be us finished for today.
Yeah.
Davey. Right, Jamie B sent me this, it's a Bosch Expert spade bit. What else we was tip technology up to 3 times faster. Now he sent me it through. It's always nice to receive something, so thanks for that, Jamie B. And what he says, once I use this, I will never go back to the Tri-Flute DeWalt speed bit. So we're gonna have a little competition. This battery there is completely full. The other battery is completely full as well, isn't it, Davey? Yeah. So I'm gonna drop this through. In fact, go get the other battery, David, and we'll do this without stopping. Yes, please. We'll do this without stopping, and then nobody can claim that it was a fix or anything like that. Obviously, we haven't got a timer, but you're just going to have to gauge it, and I'll tell you which I think was the most successful one. Right, so there you go. Look, David, you see that? It's fully charged. Yeah. This also is fully charged, okay? Right, I've picked this bit of wood. There's no knots, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through there, there and there to make it a fair test. There's no knots in it whatsoever, same piece of timber. Right, so we'll go first with the DeWalt Tri-Flute, and we'll see how quickly it goes through. Okay, so that's through. It's fairly quickly. I have to say, it's not a completely fair test because that drill bit has drilled countless holes already in its life. So, the Bosch Expert. Let's see how this one goes. I've watched my finger now because I've already had an accident this week. So, again, Jamie B sent this through. It's very nice to receive something. There we go. Looks nice. Looks the part. He says I'll never go back. So, we'll see. Anyway. Okay. What we're saying, Davey? I think they were both the same, no?
I'd say they're probably similar,
yeah. Yeah. We'll try one. We'll try one more time. Bearing in mind that is fresh out the packet. That one there, without exaggerating, has probably done 40 holes minimum, maybe more. Okay. So we'll try one more time. This is the Bosch bit. I'll tell you what I do like about it. It's less to clear out. Obviously, it hasn't got 3 flutes like this one, which clog up with wood, so it's less to clear out. Ooh, that just caught my finger there. And then there's this one, which, like I say, has drilled a lot of holes. Ooh, so mine's stopped now. Okay, so what I'm going to say about that is that that's stuck. Right. Jamie B, I think that didn't go well, did it, Davey? That didn't go well at all. Do you know what? Did I even change the battery? Did I use the same battery? Right. So, to conclude, Jamie B, your drill bit actually clears it out a lot quicker. This one, which has drilled a lot of holes in its time, failed me on the second go. So, maybe we will try them. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll buy a couple and we'll try them on the next couple of builds and see how long they last. That'll be the real test, I think, to see how long they actually last. It's kept its head, it's pretty sharp. But that's it. Thanks, Jamie B. So that one let itself down a couple of times. That one never failed, but it was brand new out of the packet. So we'll try them next time then. Okay, so what we want to talk about now is the tools we've used for this build so far today. Spirit level, obviously, we've used a handsaw, we've used a chalk line, we've used a speed square. I can't remember if we used that or not. I think we did. We've used a lump hammer, the normal framing hammer, we've used the impact driver, of course a tape measure, which is essential, and the circular saw, which is doing the vast bulk of the work on this job. So that's it from today. So that's day 5, I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, day 5. The roof structure's on. We may come in tomorrow now and board it, depending on weather and a few other things as well. We've simply put them on the wall there. David put them on the wall so I could stand up and walk around basically and work at heights quite safely without having to get up and down constantly all the time. So that's it. That's today's build. We're progressing quite well, I think. So we're just one man, and obviously David's on the camera. I know a lot of you complimented on his camera work as well. So maybe there's a future for you if you don't like joinery, Davey. But that's that. So please like and subscribe and watch out for the next video. I'll link the following day after the one you've watched. I know some of them are long, but it seems to be what you like. So that's it. It's a freebie bifold doors, tilt and turn, and a fixed pane as well. And it will be weatherboarded as well. I'm going to get the roof on. I'm going to show you insulating it. I'm going to first fix the electrics. I'm going to plasterboard it as well. And that may be where I come to a stop, because obviously there's loads of different types of cladding. And that's it anyway. So thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget, every single ox tool that you see, I'll be giving it away to somebody on Instagram. Thank you.